Hello everyone, I'm William Crossland, President and CEO of Thermal Energy International. I'd like to welcome you to our review and update of Thermal Energy International's results for the quarter and 6 months ending November 30th, 2016. After we discuss our financial results, I'd also like to spend a few minutes updating you on the evolving and strengthening global market conditions related to energy efficiency. First, I'd like to draw your attention to our caution regarding forward-looking statements. Now let's take a look at our financial results, starting with our revenue for the second quarter, which was up 23% compared to last year. In fact, this was one of our best second quarters on record for revenue, with growth in both heat recovery and GEM. As you can see with this slide, when you exclude the impact of the mega project in fiscal 2014, revenue for Q2 this year was the highest in the last 5 years, with sales of heat recovery systems up 7% and GEM sales up a strong 34%. For the first 6 months of the year, revenue is up 3% compared to the same time last year. While heat recovery revenue was up in the second quarter, it was still lower for the year-to-date period than it was last year. However, as I'll speak to in more detail in a few minutes, this is largely due to the timing of our heat recovery orders. In fact, our heat recovery order backlog remains quite strong and is 20% higher than it was at the same time last year. And when it comes to our GEM sales, they're up a strong 42% on a year-to-date basis. Our gross profit for the quarter increased 19% to $1.9 million compared to $1.6 million for the second quarter of last year. And as you can see on this slide, this was also our highest Q2 gross profit over the past 5 years. For the first 6 months of the year, our gross profit was up 25% to approximately $3.4 million. Even without any mega orders, this is our highest gross profit on record for the first 6 months of our fiscal year. The stronger gross profit for the first half of this year was largely due to the strong growth in GEM revenue. We're profitable in the second quarter and for the year to date, with strong improvements to EBITDAs, net income, and adjusted cash flow. On this slide, you can see that our EBITDAs for the quarter was $285,000, more than triple what it was in the second quarter of last year. This slide shows our historical EBITDAs for the first half of our fiscal year. The first half of the year tends to be weaker than the second half. But as you can see here, our EBITDAs for the first half of this year was positive and up significantly, an increase of approximately $600,000 compared to the same period last year. Our year-to-date net income and adjusted cash flow were also up significantly, increasing $520,000 and $450,000 respectively. Here you can see that our order backlog as of January 19th remains strong at $7.1 million and was up slightly from the same time last year. And just remember, we include in order backlog the value of projects for which purchase orders have been received, but for which the revenue has not yet been reflected in our published financial statements. This slide shows the diversity in our order backlog by country and by industry. When it comes to heat recovery, the order backlog includes $2.8 million in remaining orders from 3 hospitals in both Europe and North America, $1.7 million from a leading ethanol producer in North America, $644,000 from a global brewing company in the UK, $150,000 from a global mining company in Greece. And we just finished about $1 million heat recovery project for a food products company based in Italy. When it comes to GEM, our current order backlog includes about $200,000 in orders remaining from a leading materials company in North America, about $150,000 from a hospital in Europe, and about $100,000 from a Fortune 500 food and beverage company in North America. We've spent the last several years developing our business, our client base, and our teams in both North America and Europe, and our results for the first half of the year And the diversity of our order backlog, both by geography and by sector, show that our strategy is working. And while we've made significant strides in developing our capabilities, we now also have the benefit of strengthening market fundamentals, which I'd now like to take a few minutes to discuss. In November 2015 in Paris, over 190 countries signed the United Nations Convention on Climate Change Agreement, also called the Paris Agreement. That agreement calls for aggressive reductions in carbon emissions globally. So far, 133 countries have now ratified the agreement, and as a result, it is now international law. As a result of the Paris Agreement, governments and industries around the world are taking unprecedented action on climate change, and increasing energy efficiency is the cheapest, easiest, and quickest way to reduce carbon emissions. This slide shows a few statistics that illustrate the importance and potential of energy efficiency. Up to 50% of industrial energy consumption is lost as waste heat. The global waste heat recovery market is expected to grow around 7% annually, and that's roughly 3 times the expected rate of growth of the general economy. And $22 trillion is expected to be invested in energy efficiency over the next 25 years. More than 50% of the energy we use as a society is lost due to inefficiencies. This has led the International Energy Agency to dub energy efficiency the world's first fuel, because the potential represented by energy efficiency is larger than all other fuels combined. This slide was prepared by the International Energy Agency to show where the carbon emissions need to come from if we hope to meet our Paris commitments. And as it shows, approximately half of the carbon emission reduction required need to come from energy efficiency. That's 3 times what all forms of renewable energy combined could contribute. This slide illustrates a study done by McKinsey & Company that compares the cost per ton of different carbon reduction options. Anything below the zero line does not cost any money. It actually saves money, while those above the zero line cost money. The energy efficiency options on the chart are outlined in green, and as you can see, unlike renewable energy or carbon captures or any number of other carbon reduction initiatives, energy efficiency does not cost money, it saves money. So to sum up, why is energy efficiency so important to meeting our commitments to reduce carbon emissions? First of all, it's got a proven track record of delivering on promise. Second of all, it's the cheapest way to reduce carbon emissions by far. It's the only option that actually saves money rather than costs money. And it's a significant boost to economic growth. It generates jobs and it improves companies' competitiveness, and it puts dollars back in our consumers' pockets. In short, it's the easiest option for public support. I'd now like just to summarize our strategy and outlook going forward. As we've discussed, thermal energy benefits from very strong market fundamentals and excellent growth prospects. We've only just begun to grow our business in our key markets of North America and Europe. We're going to continue to build upon our engineering, sales, and distribution capabilities in these key markets, and we're well positioned to continue increasing our market share. But we'll also consider entering new geographical markets where and when the market fundamentals and opportunities are favorable. And in addition to increasing sales of our existing products, we're also developing additional complementary products and services that we can easily sell to our existing extensive client base. And we're not only developing our own new products and markets, we're also on the lookout for accretive acquisition opportunities that can add complementary products, markets, or distribution channels. To sum up, with strong market fundamentals and enhanced selling and engineering capabilities, we've got a very exciting future ahead of us with multiple avenues for growth. Thank you for your continued support and interest. I look forward to providing you additional updates in the future. Have a great day.